Hello, Malcolm here, and welcome to your teaching tip based on David Bercot's book, Plain Speaking, and this week, listening to your listeners. Sounds a bit strange. In the previous episode, we talked about eye contact, and it's got something to do with this because, as Bercot says in his book, when you make eye contact with your listeners, you'll soon find that they are communicating back to you. How does this help us? Well, let's discuss what to look for and how to respond. First, confusion. When you see frowns and puzzled looks, you may not be explaining your point well. Think about adding an illustration or taking a different angle or even just stopping and asking, am I making myself clear? Do that out of a genuine desire to actually know the answer and listen to what people have to say. That is one way you could approach it. A second thing you need to look for is disagreement. Sometimes you might see someone shaking their head, crossing their arms, perhaps even arguing with somebody else in the congregation about what you've just said. If that happens, don't ignore it. You may not be able to engage with the issue right there and then, but you might be able to say at least, would you like to talk about it afterwards? Thirdly, boredom. Signs of boredom include listeners glancing at their watches, yawning, looking around the room, fidgeting, slouching. What do? Do not do a couple of things. Don't yell at everybody saying, you should be listening, this is important. Don't rebuke your listeners and don't press on regardless. Instead, change something. Ask a question. Get the group discussing the topic of your lesson with one another. Lead a prayer. Ask the worship leader to lead a song appropriate to the topic. Tell a meaningful story or an illustration. Speed up, slow down, or in extremis, simply stop. Perhaps they've had enough. And fourthly and finally, excitement. Isn't it nice when you see that? Smiles, bright eyes, sitting on the edge of a seat. They're the sights we long to see. Be grateful when you see this. Engage with those people. They are God's blessing and strengthening to you. However, do not see other people's excitement as a license to add another 20 minutes to your lesson. Those smiles may soon turn to frowns. So what are your thoughts on listening to our listeners? Next time, we'll go on to explore how to speak with life. Between now and then, remember to keep calm and carry on teaching. Take care and God bless.